Hello everyone, it's Travis with COCAB, Watch Collectors of California and Beyond, with another full watch review. Today we're going to be looking at the MMI Turret 300 meter Diver GMT. This is the TRG-03B, which basically means it's the ice blue with a bracelet. First thing you notice, of course, is that beautiful blue dial. I just love it. Just looks absolutely gorgeous. This is a very unique brand that was founded by Victor Wee in 2019. It's a Singapore-based brand. MMI actually stands for modernization, modification, and innovation. One of the things that you'll see that they, I believe, are very innovative on is their rota-date display. You can see that right there with the 1 through 31 going around in a circle on the dial, and you can see the orange on the 13 to represent that it is the 13th. This brand has had numerous other models. The 500 meter diver, Turret 2020, Turret Marine Chrono 2021, Sky Hunter. You'll have to check out their website, but there are just a ton of other models that they've put out. So real quick, what makes a COCAB review different? The C is characteristics, the O is operations, the next C is cool and unique features, the A is accessibility, which is both availability and price, and then the B is brand offerings and info. So we'll be talking about all of those things. This Turret 300M Dive GMT, which I do love that GMT hand, by the way. I think it just looks really, really nice. Basically, they talk about it as being seamlessly merging precision beneath the waves with global versatility in a single timepiece. So basically a dive watch with a GMT function, which I think is a pretty cool combo. Basic specs on this. This is a number, I think we can see it on the case back, but this is number 85 of 88, so it's a limited edition. This is about 13.5 millimeters thick, weighs about 182 grams when sized for an 8¼ to 8½ inch wrist. Diameter is about 40 millimeters wide on the case, 43 millimeters with that 3 o'clock crown, which is also lumed, by the way. 47 millimeters lug to lug, water resistant to 300 meters, and has a 1-year warranty. So some great specs on the watch. The dial, it's a horizontal brush dial, has the rota-date display complication. You can see there again on the interior of the watch there. We can kind of see it catching the light, just how beautiful that looks. The logo is just below the 12 o'clock position and under the rota-date display circle. GMT 24-hour time is on the re-hot edge of the dial with an orange line at every even number. You can kind of see that at the 1, 3, 5, 7, and so on. Says GMT, and then under that 300 meter, 1,000 foot above the 6 o'clock position. And this dial is actually fully lumed. I didn't realize this till I went to see a movie with it the other night, and you could see the entire dial. It's a lighter lume than some, but it was really beautiful, so I really liked it. The hands are all centrally positioned and all are lumed. The minute and hour hand are black, outlined, and then interior lume, of course, and 2 separate taping sections of lume that you can see there in the video. The GMT hand is a thin black hand with a fairly large outlined lume triangle on the tip, which then culminates into a thin, straight orange tip. You can see it right there, I guess at about 17 minutes after. And then that tip comes down to the rota-date display. So the seconds hand is black, there we go, with an orange tip, and it is not lumed. The indices are raised elongated ovals at each numeral, and 2 at the 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock, as you can see. All have lumed interiors and show up well at night. Then we see also the black minute and second marks in between each 5-minute interval there. The lume is Swiss Superluminova grade X1C3 or X1 BGW9, and it is on the bezel, hands, indices, date indicator, crown, and then again on the dial itself. The bezel is a uni-directional rotating 120 click ceramic bezel insert. Let's go ahead and do that a little. You can hear the clicking. Fairly crisp, has a little bit of back, but not horrible. Doesn't have as good of grip as what I would like. It's not terrible, but it isn't quite as good as what I would like. And then we'll mention this a little bit later, but it doesn't perfectly line up. It either goes there or one click over, and you can see it's not exactly lined up. So nothing huge, but just a little thing of note there. The minute markings we have for the first 20 minutes, you can see across the edge, and then from there on every 5 minutes. And it's only about 2 millimeters thick, so that's really nice. The crystal is a 3 millimeter flat sapphire crystal with AR coating. The case is brushed 316L stainless steel. This also helps avoid the fingerprints, so it's not going to capture fingerprints as easily as a completely polished one, which I kind of prefer. I like the polished look, and for special occasions, it's wonderful, because it looks so nice. But it is very difficult to keep the fingerprints off, where this is going to keep them off a lot better. The crown has a screw down 3 o'clock position. We'll do that right now. You can see it unscrews with about 4.5 or so. Then of course you can wind it. It is an automatic, so it'll also just wind with normal wear and tear. You bring it out 1 click, and you can see moving it what would be a clockwise position, moves the GMT hand, and then moving it counterclockwise, you can see the little orange on the rota-date moving around. And then if you pull it out the next position, of course, you can change the time. One thing I was going to mention is this has very little give before it starts actually moving the hands, which I think is kind of cool. Also, the crown does not have hardly any wobble at all. So just some of those little things that I like to check, and this feels pretty good. All right, the crown, the crown itself is round with 27 grooves and okay grip. It's 6.9 millimeters in diameter, and it is signed with the unilateral lumed logo, which then looks good in any position. The lugs are not drilled, but there is a double-sided quick-release bracelet. I had reviewed one of these MMIs before, and the screws here would kind of catch and were a little bit sharp. This one's not that way. This one is great, so no worries there at all. I do love the quick release bracelet. That's great for changing things out. The lug width is 22 millimeters, and the lug to lug again is 47 millimeters. So great looking watch there. All right, let's look at the case back. It's not an exhibition case back, but it is a really cool looking signed case back. And it does say 316L SS or stainless steel, 85 of 88, turret GMT 300M, water resistance, NH34, and sapphire. So that's all on the back there. It is a grooved, screw down, decorated, embossed case back with the logo. So nice clean look for the case back. All right, the bracelet is also 316L stainless steel, and again does have the dual quick release. It does taper. We talked about the lug, 22 millimeters, but it does taper down to 20 millimeters. And it does that, all the tapering happens in the first 2 links, so then from then on it's 20 millimeters, so it makes it easy to add or subtract links as you may need to. The buckle is a milled clasp, and it's signed with a logo. So you can see you've got the clasp, and then you still have this where you have to hit both sides, and then it opens. So nice looking buckle and clasp there. It does have beveled edges. There are 5 positions on the clasp. There are no micro adjusts, so you do have to adjust here and get it to the size that you would like. All right, I'm going to set the watch down, and we're going to look at the packaging a little bit. So the outer packaging is a nice signed, thin cardboard sleeve, basically, and then that goes around a nice, more durable, signed and finished cardboard box, which is great. And then we'll set that to the side. Inside of that is the suede watch roll, which I kind of like. Let's open that up. And in here you basically have 3 pouches, one for the watch, one for the warranty card, and then one that is left open. You can put extra links, etc. inside of that. All right, so then the operations of this, the movement, is a Seiko NH34A, which is kind of the workhorse of the industry. This particular Seiko movement was released the summer of 2022, and it is specifically for GMT watches. It has 24 joules, 21,600 beats per hour. and a 41-hour power reserve. I'm not actually tested and timed it, but I have went like a day or two, or a day and a half, I guess, without wearing this, and it was still keeping time, so that's great. It does have the Diashock anti-shock system and the Etachron regulator system, and Seiko says it should be accurate to within plus 40 or minus 20 seconds per day. So my experiences with this watch, I've worn it several times. I've really enjoyed it. Setting the time is very smooth. Again, I showed about 1/9 of a rotation is all before it engages the hands. There's almost no crown wobble. Setting the date's very smooth. Each one clicks into the proper slot, and it looks great on that rota-date display. One thing I will note is that anytime you've got the GMT hand here, it basically partially covers at least 2 date slots. Not a huge deal, but if it does happen to be the orange under the orange outline of that rota-date, or under the GMT, then it is sometimes hard to find. Turning the bezel, it is unidirectional. I feel it could have a little bit more grip. It just, it's a little bit, your fingers slide on it a little bit. It's not horrible, but it could be a little bit better, I think. Putting on and taking off the watch, no problems, very comfortable. It's well-sized for larger wrists with even more links than what I needed, so that's great. The screw-down crown is great. We showed that already. And what can be improved, I would say, again, the bezel with the grip. That's really the only major thing. If I'm nitpicking, just a few other little things. Some of the paint and numbers, indices, words, and such are not super clean when you highly magnify them. Another just very small, and I am nitpicking, but I'll show you the warranty card that comes with it. It has modernization spelled wrong, so not a big deal, but here's the card. So instead of a Z, they have an S. So again, I fully recognize that as very much a nitpick. And then the date numbers are really small. It's hard to read them. On the video here, I think you can see it pretty clearly, but when you're wearing it on your wrist, they are pretty small, and so it's a bit difficult to read them unless you've got really good eyes. So, all right, so cool and unique, and what I love. This is the part that I love the most. First of all is just that dial design and color. I just think it's very striking. They call it an ice blue. I almost think of it as a Tiffany blue. I love the GMT. I do love that orange outline triangle on the GMT hand. The rota-date display is fantastic. It's very original and unique, which I love. The full lume and contrasting lume colors, that is awesome. The lumed crown, excuse me, is nice. And the fact that it doesn't collect fingerprints is huge bonus, I think. So, accessibility, I like to again think of affordability and availability. It is available now on the website. It is currently $469. That's the retail price. That's with the bracelet pack. Or there's a slightly more affordable option at $449 with a leather/rubber strap pack, which includes shipping. And if you'd like to check out some of their other watches, you can go to MMIwatches.com. There's lots of other options there. Check them out. I think you'll be impressed. There's a lot of great options and availability for you to check out there. So thanks so much for watching. Please put your comments below. Please like, subscribe. And if there's anything I did not cover you'd like me to do so on future ones, please just let me know. Thanks so much and have a fantastic rest of the day.